Hey everybody, it's Canoe again for another weekly update. I want to start off on a bit of a serious note with everyone. Many of you have likely gotten a text message or email from us notifying you of our support for just everybody of color and everyone that is just trying to care for others. We feel strongly about the movement that's happening. We certainly want to support as many of you as possible during these times. At the basis of everything, just know that we recognize that our coworkers, all of you, and us in the office and others, we're people of color as well. And our clients are people of color. The families, the communities that we support have people of color within them. We stand by all of you equally. And as a company, as an organization, we are really rooted in caring. One of the things that we talk about here often is our level of compassion and caring for others is really what our service is. So I hope that you will continue to spread that message of just compassion for others, caring for them, and finding the many ways that we're very much alike. That message from our company and out to our communities will hopefully spread in a peaceful way. And for those of you that are angry and upset, listen, I understand, or as much as I possibly can understand. The only thing that I would just advise, if I can, is try to channel that energy into talking and having conversations with those around you and have a meaningful conversation, change a mind, and you might even be more surprised that you're more like-minded with someone else than you thought you were. Moving on, wanted to also give a training update. Many of you have been working so hard, especially this past week. We saw some incredible movement. One of the things that we noticed were the offices of Savannah and Morristown. Both of you have achieved 74% completion. It's probably higher now because that was a couple of days ago that we pulled those numbers. The Paris office is coming in around 64% completed, and these are folks that are 100% complete. So congratulations to you. There's many other offices definitely working on it. We found that many people did utilize our offices during the weekends when we opened them up. We will be doing that again. Make sure that you contact your service supervisor, contact your local office so that we can reserve a seat for you and make sure that there's a device available for you. The push is still on, right? So you've got until noon on June the 10th, which is next Wednesday. And we want to ensure that at that point, wherever the dust settles, that is where we're going to measure and we're going to do the payouts. We're going to make sure training gets paid for and all of that. Luckily, as a company, we are just below that 50% mark. So half of you are 100% done. So good for you. There is another big chunk of you that still needs some work to do. And I'm so happy to announce that we're now less than about 100 folks that have not yet started. So I'm a little worried about you, but you can do it. I promise. Log in. It'll be worthwhile. And once again, I want to reassure that you understand why we're doing this. One is to make sure that you know. I've talked to many. I think the far majority feel like the training was worthwhile, that you will learn something when you do it. More importantly, this is a method of making sure that we can appropriately staff our clients and their needs. By having many of you have more skills and more learning and demonstrating it, we have proof of that, essentially. We can put you on more shifts. I do want to make sure that you realize we will have staffing priority, which means those of you that complete your level 4 training will have first basically dibs on any cases that come open. So you have the highest priority. We will put you on cases first. That's really important to know as time goes on. It is the most valuable thing is making sure that our clients are getting the highest quality of care. Speaking of our clients and all of this, the priorities of training, here's a little kind of thing that it's a warning almost as a company. We know that we're about to get a lot more busy. There are going to be many more cases. There are going to be individuals that need care. What we really need now more than ever is if you have a friend, and I know we say this almost weekly, but if you have a friend that needs some work or they'd like to add some hours to their schedule, maybe that they'd be interested in caregiving, please, now is the time. Make that referral. Just keep in mind, they're going to have to go through the entire onboarding. They're also going to have to do some of this training work. It's all paid training, but we want to ensure that they get on our roster. The reason is we're looking at significant increases of hours in the coming weeks and months. We know more and more people will need so much care in the near future. The last comment, this is an HR file issue. Some of you have seen in Paylocity when you log in, or you got an email about a thing called an arbitration agreement. And I want to take just a moment to explain this to you. I'm not going to do it any justice. In the document, there's a frequently asked sheet that answers a lot of questions for you. But essentially think of it this way. We as a company have now grown to a size in which we really need an arbitration agreement. And what that means is that we have the ability, with that agreement, it's a mutual agreement, what we would have an ability to deal with any legal matters or any claims that you may have on an individual basis. That's really important to us as a company because we want to make sure instead of spending a lot of money on attorneys, we want to make sure that our wages are really healthy, our benefit programs are very healthy. And this program, the arbitration agreement, is not signing away any of your rights. It does not mean that you cannot have the ability to represent yourself or your situation or have an attorney. None of those things. It just basically says that we would attempt to handle those issues and challenges outside of court first. It may ultimately still go to court. Luckily, as a business, over 10 years in business, we have spent very, very little time in court. We don't like to be a litigious company. As many of you know, we're almost to a fault. We document a lot. We have a lot of information. We try to be professional, and we try to be upstanding with all of you, our coworkers. If you have questions about that arbitration agreement, please make sure you log in to Paylocity, read the FAQ. More importantly, sign it, or at least check off the box that you've received it and you want to still think about it before the end of the month. For now, guys, I know there's a lot going on. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your great attitudes out there and just plugging away and working hard. We look forward to another successful week with you next week. Bye-bye.